You'll find with me that if you made a request, in most cases, I would probably just say yes. I'm not money hungry, not at all. And commission is a lot better than asking for forgiveness from me. You follow me? Most everything I give you anyway. But don't test me on that. Like, if you really want something, then just communicate. You'll have my email. Matter of fact, my email, which goes to my staff, I have no privacy in life. So there is no personal way to connect with Joel Bauer at all. That's an email address, and I'm copied on it. So when you go to joel@infotainer.com, it goes to me. Do I respond to all 22,000 emails per month? No. I get 22,000 emails a month. Why? Because everyone wants it. You follow me? I've been out there a while, and that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to realize you have to have a staff just to sort, sift, and separate through the muck. So if you think I'm going to respond to every inquiry you make, that's impossible. The only people I respond to are personal coaching. That's why I created an interface page, a Facebook page, where I can watch what you're doing, make comments when they're pertinent, and allow you to help each other and support you by actually creating new master trainings when I see that something is really shut down. So very often I'll stop my day, I'll create a training at no charge, and I'll pop it in there if I feel that it's necessary. You follow me? No charge. No charge. So you're going to have a lot of support. Why do they buy? Why do they buy?
Raise your hand if you feel that what I offered is worth a lot more than what you invested. And of you guys here at my second presentation here, because this is it, my weekend's over, I go home to my kids. I've only been gone a short time. Did you learn things you know will make you money immediately? Yes. Do you wish that you had had this knowledge a lot of years ago? Raise your hand if that's the case so they can see. Okay. So,
you do understand you're seeing something you've never seen in your entire life. I just sold these people my products at an event, and I'm not paying any attention to their needs. I'm paying attention to my students' needs, so I'm not even being paid by them. I make these videos for my graduate students. These people just bought my product, and I'm asking them, why'd you buy? Who the hell does that, right? Because I know that you want to know. Don't you want to know why they're buying? How can you figure out how to sell someone if you don't know how they were sold? That's a pretty simple deconstruction, right? I want to know why they're buying.
Did I stay longer, by show of hands, than you expected? Yeah. Did you get more than you bargained for from Dr. Eric? And Dr. Eric is also a student in life, always improving his process. We don't know it all. And that's how we help you by not knowing it all. So, to my students on June 20th, this is the result of speaking from the heart.
So the video that you would have seen that would have revealed this secret, you missed. That was your bonus. And so you don't get it now. When I tell you to be back here, you got to be back here. You're about to find out why they buy. Now you don't get to know. Well, that's terrible, Joel. I'll send you the video so you can watch it in your own space and in your own place. But it won't be as effective as my analyzing in front of the room. Well, Joel, you could change that. No, I'm going to make you feel pain right now. There's not a single moment of this event. So whatever you were doing in there, I said to you, I went from 20 minutes yesterday, half an hour yesterday, to 15 minutes. All you had to do was interview one person for 15 minutes, right? Listen to one person, gave you plenty of time to eat. You had a full hour and 5 minutes to get back for the bonus round. And so from this point forward, make a note right now. I need to watch my watch. Joel will never hurt me. He'll give me even more if I'm on time. This is part of the training. I expect this to happen. And by the way, that's all planned right now. It needed to happen one time for me to make the point. They must suffer at your events if they don't follow the rules. Why? Because then they will follow the rules. This is like training your children. This is like training you. It's very hard to learn self-discipline. Guys, I expect you guys to be very disciplined. And some of you are still wondering, well, I don't know what I want to do. That's interesting. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know what you want to do. And yet yesterday I divided you into groups. Every single person in this room stood in front of 1 to 2 screens, then separated and stood in front of 1 screen. Every single one of you extemporaneously articulated on the subject of inspiration, financial, whatever it was. And yet some of you are sitting here going, well, I don't know what I want to do. Make a friggin' decision. I want you to forget about your ultimate purpose right now, and I want you to forget about your passion. The thing you stood in front of that screen yesterday, that's what you're going to work on during the event. You're going to work on something here. Now this is the voice of your Father. You're going to make a decision now. And I promise you, my hand, I hope I'm not offending you, but my hand to God, my hand to Buddha, my hand to whatever it is you believe strong, because I believe in many things. And I believe 100% that if you choose something that isn't right, it'll replace itself with a stronger emotion. How many of you will accept that degree of trust? Pick something. Yesterday we went through a half an hour, 45-minute process to get you just to emotionalize and make a decision in 12 forms. 12 forms. Otherwise, what are you going to do here? You're going to sit here on fire. You're going to sit here frustrated and shut down and unable to benefit from this week. You'll sit here taking in the candy and enjoying. You need to build something this week. We're going to build systems. We're going to build presentations. We're going to build closes. We're going to build things. And if you build something and you find it's not the right feel at the end of the week, but you build it, then what do? If you suddenly realize it's not the right feel, what happens? Something supersedes it. And then you plug it in. But if you don't have something to work on here, then you'll have no way to replace it because you will never experience plugging anything in. Anyone not clear? Tell me the truth. I'm not scolding you here. I am completely in the moment. Are you all able to pick something? Which brings me to a revelation. This is the single most powerful presentation I've ever seen. And it is presented by a female. I would like you to look at her for a moment. And I would like you to make an assessment because you're all very good at judgment. I want you to judge her body and her looks. She's very attractive in my opinion. She's very thin. Thin is very popular in the United States. Thin is very popular everywhere. Thin is good. Yet thin isn't always healthy. Thin isn't always healthy. So that woman could be entirely fat. Her lean to muscle ratio could be very distorted. In fact, how many of you know this? She could actually be fat. That woman could be comprised of primarily fat and very little lean muscle. And yet she looks okay. And she has blonde hair, and she has nice facial infrastructure. And this has nothing to do with anything, but it does, the way you appear to an audience. At first we judge her, then we hear her. At first we judge her, and then we hear her. Well, let's hear her just for a moment, shall we?
Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like for you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big.
So what did she just say? She said, imagine a gift. Imagine a gift. Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like for you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big. It's about the size of a golf ball. To envision what it looks like all wrapped up, before I show you what's inside, I will tell you it's going to do incredible things for you. It'll bring all of your family together. You will feel loved and appreciated like never before. You'll connect with friends and acquaintances you haven't connected with in years. Admiration will overwhelm you. It will recalibrate what's most important in your life. It'll redefine your sense of spirituality. Faith. You'll have a new understanding and trust in your body. You'll have unsurpassed vitality and energy. It'll expand your vocabulary, meet new people, and you'll have a happy and healthy lifestyle. And get this, you'll have an 8-week vacation of doing absolutely nothing. You'll eat countless gourmet meals. Flowers will arrive by the truckload. People will say to you, you look great. Have you had any work done? And you'll have a lifetime supply of good drugs. You'll be challenged, inspired, motivated, and humbled. Your life will have new meaning. Peace, health, serenity, happiness, nirvana. The price? $55,000. And man, that's an incredible deal. By now, I'm sure you're dying to know what it is and where you can get one. Does Amazon carry it? Does it have the Apple logo on it? Is there a waiting list? Not likely. This gift came to me about 5 months ago. It looked more like this when it was all wrapped up. Not quite so pretty. And this. And this. It was a rare gem, a brain tumor, hemangioblastoma, the gift that keeps on giving. And while I'm okay now, I wouldn't wish this gift for you. I'm not sure you'd want it, but I wouldn't change my experience. It profoundly altered my life in ways I didn't expect, and in all the ways I just shared with you. So for the next time you're faced with something that's unexpected, unwanted, and uncertain, consider that it just may be a gift. What are you doing, Joel? Those are someone else's words. That's not my experience, that's someone else's experience. You mean that you have a way?
Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like for you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big.
You mean that you can take anyone in this room, anywhere in the world, in any language? You mean that I can instantly speak Mandarin? Absolutely. I can speak Japanese, Taiwanese, Italian, Spanish. You give me 1 hour, and I will have all of the pronunciation perfect. I won't sound like a local, but I won't sound like a fool. Who would like the ability to speak any language instantly? So one day I'm with Larry Ellison. That's Oracle. And I'm not going to tell you the story because we have so much to cover here. Believe it or not, I don't have time for a digression. But I was backstage, and he got a call from China. And we're in Silicon Valley, and I'm about to present for him on stage the warm-up to the presentation. I'm talking about Oracle infrastructure and the fact that we see beyond Microsoft or any other company because we see legacy. We are making legacy moves on behalf of the government. Microsoft is selling software fix in the moment for the moment. We're comparing ourselves to Microsoft. And I hear Larry Ellison, who is not a nice man, not at all. You think Steve Jobs is unpleasant? Oh, I've worked with 2 of the most unpleasant men on the planet. I was at Oracle for 4 years, representing them on marketing. And I'm backstage, and he didn't particularly like me. I don't think he liked anyone. I don't think he liked himself, to tell you the truth. And I see him starting to curse. Just the F word, one after another, out loud. The A word, the SH word. He's just using all this low-quality language. For a multi-billionaire, it just doesn't quite work for me. And I'm keeping my calm. And the more horrifying he gets with his languaging and his anger, the more positive I become, because that's how I'm trained. You see, you always have a choice. You're in control of your destiny, and you're in control of your emotions. He gets off the phone, and I go, "May I help?" He said, "Sure. If you could do my whole keynote for me, I gotta effing go to China right now for a negotiation that could impact everyone in this whole friggin' company." Yeah, I can't do my keynote, and I got 14,000 people in an amphitheater and a $2.4 million gig that we're putting on here. Yeah, how you gonna help me? You gonna do my 26-minute keynote for me that I have to read? Here, look at it. He shows me this wad of paper. And we're both going to be on stage. I'm supposed to go on stage in 12 minutes. I say, give me the speech, leave, and I will do it as you. I will do it with your tonality, your modulation, your cadence. I won't miss a single word. I will memorize the whole thing instantly, or at least it will appear that way, and I will let them know, and you will have respect. They will look at you with dignity and honor, and I will let them know that you're leaving for the needs of the many. Because right now, you're leaving on their behalf to increase stock valuation and to remedy a horrifying scenario. He said, "What the hell are you talking?" I said, "You will pay me $175,000 if I do it. It'll all be recorded on video. And if I don't do exactly what I just said, don't pay me for the next 5 years. I'll work for free." every single event. And we had a multi-million-dollar contract. He goes, man, you got bigger balls than I do. I go, whatever. Give me the script and leave. I will take care of you in other. And he walked out. I went into the bathroom, and I'll show you what I did in just a second. In just a second. Interesting, very interesting.
Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like for you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big, about the size of a golf ball. To envision what it looks like all wrapped up. And before I show you what
That's enough light. Who's in fear of public speaking in this room, other than Regina, who's not so much in fear now? Come over here. Leave your jacket. Doesn't matter. Make yourself happy, comfortable. Do you trust that my ears are immaculate?
Doesn't matter.
My ears are immaculate. I clean them with alcohol, Q-tips. I wouldn't take something from my ear and put it in yours if I didn't feel very confident. Many of you are no longer amazed by the device I'm showing you. Looks like a hearing aid. Looks like a hearing aid. You will repeat what you hear when you hear it.
imagine, if you will, a gift.
Yes. I'd like you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big. About the size of a golf ball.
Envision how it looks like all wrapped up. If I should, if it's breaking up.
Keep going. Relax. Take a breath. No one's judging you. And keep going wherever you are.
4.
Yeah. All written. Really? That's interesting. That's angry. It is breaking up. That's the first time.
Hey, trust me.
No, I didn't question you for a second. Not for a second. I trust him completely. Is it possible that the battery was infected? Of course it is. Correct? Sure. I was practicing this morning with it. Have I ever had it fail? Never. There's a first, a new battery charge is a good idea. Exactly what you see on the screen. I have made millions of dollars using this sucker. Millions. Millions. It sits there, remote. Push the button when you're ready. One time. Let me do it for you. You ready?
Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like you to picture it in your mind. It's not too big. About the size of a golf ball. And envision what it looks like all wrapped up. I'm going to show you what it's inside. I'm going to tell you it's going to do incredible things for you. You will feel loved and appreciated like never before. I mean, you're going to connect with friends and acquaintances you've not for years. The whole experience will overwhelm you.
I have a question for you. One button delays it. You follow me? One button delays it. So when we cross our arms, we can just take a pause. Answer questions. How many of you feel this is a pretty natural position to occasionally assume, right? Now, I have a remote control I built that goes between a woman's buttocks. So if she's wearing a pantyless evening gown with no place to hide anything, and she doesn't want to put anything in her ear, she just presses her buttocks together, and it turns it on and off. I'm not kidding you. This is how they're made. They're made for trade show presenters, and they used to cost $3,800. Now, this one is $6.
Wow.
It's a Bluetooth device synchronized to any phone, iPhone, any phone, any phone. I have it coordinated with my Samsung phone. I want you to imagine, sir, that you actually practiced what you did not. If you had done that 100 times, do you think it would be a breeze? If you had practiced it 100 times, privately, do you think you'd be familiar with some of the words? And so you'd be cued more easily. And you wouldn't even need to listen, because it would just cue you, and it would support you at that exact moment. Regina, quickly. I thank you for doing the exercise. Did anyone notice how elegant he was?
Yes.
Just standing here with a beautiful voice he has. I'm not indicating that anyone doesn't have a beautiful voice, but did anyone notice he's quite elegant? Now, he may not feel comfortable public speaking, but can you imagine if all the words that you had written or someone else had written were just delivered in your ear, and you got to rehearse, versus me who just stuck something in your ear? You just did something that's on the parallel with a miracle, equal to a miracle, to even begin to do it. That was sweet. Regina has a different architecture in her ear. No, actually, men and women are on the auditory canal built identically. And she doesn't need to turn it on right now. So all I'm doing is resetting my phone, and the actual piece in her ear has a remote control on and off button. That's how Bluetooth works. You may not know that. So when she touches that button, it's going to simply start it, and she will simply repeat what she hears. A woman who said she had difficulty speaking.
No song.
No sound yet? I will make sure. The button has not been pushed. I thought I pushed it. Always better when you push your own buttons. There we go.
Imagine, if you will, a gift. I'd like for you to picture in your mind. It's not too big, just the size of a golf ball. And vision what it will look like when it's all wrapped up. I lost it.
Keep going. Just keep going. It doesn't matter. Guys, does it matter?
No.
Just pick up. It is a skill that takes 45 minutes to learn to perfect and a lifetime of support. This is for those of you who often feel that the hardest thing is to get, you're still hearing this? Start. Right there.
You have a new understanding and trust in your body. And once surpass vitality, it will expand your vocabulary, meet new people, and have a healthier lifestyle. And get this, you have an 8-week vacation, absolutely nothing. Flowers and chocolates. Have you any worked on? And you have a lifetime supply. You'll be challenged, inspired, motivated, and humbled. Your life will have new meaning. Peace, health, and serenity, and nirvana.
price $55,000. By now, I think you are dying to know that how can I get this.
Fantastic.
Does Anissa carry it?
Someone take out your phone right now, turn on your Bluetooth. First person to volunteer. Regina, once again, for someone who says they're not good at something, you're quite good at everything. And when you finally accept that, and I think she already has had a shift. Regina, would you say you experienced a shift here already at the very beginning of this event? A shift of self-acceptance. And so Aaron has a Bluetooth phone. Who has a phone that has a recorder built in, where we can actually record a voice? Meaning a voice recorder. Fantastic. Is that an iPhone? And oh, the 7 Plus. So get it ready, because we're going to set it up for synchronization with this earpiece. I'm setting for synchronization now. And by the way, this is in Chinese. I have it set for Mandarin. So this communicates in Mandarin in your ear. I want you all to write down $350. This is $6. There's a new machine that translates from English to Mandarin.
Excuse me, Joe. You need to recognize that this is the...
I know. No, I'm aware of that. Hang on. I'm just talking to the audience. He's cute. It's off. And now, that's it. It's now in synchronization mode. You should see an S350 or something along those lines.
0492.
How many did you get the idea?
0492. Yeah, we only have 0.
Click it.
I do.
John? Does anyone else have a device on here? A Bluetooth device? Does anyone have a Bluetooth device on in the room?
Yeah.
Because you understand you guys could really be creating havoc right now. You know the impossibility of synchronizing while you guys are all trying to synchronize. So I want you to relax. So let me explain something to all of you. We now have technology for $350 on the planet, $250 to $350, where I can speak in English, and with no translators, everyone in the room can hear in Mandarin, Japanese, Cantonese, any language.
Cool.
It means that we can now present to an audience without spending $7,000 to $20,000 a day like Feng Jun does for translators.
Wow.
That means I could have you listening to Mandarin translation of what I say in English, which would be 40% to 60% accurate, but no more. Because you cannot translate what I'm saying identically into Mandarin. How many of you know that? It doesn't translate. And you can't translate Mandarin into English and have perfect, because some of it's interpretation.
Yep.
Just as there are many sounds for M, there are many, many interpretations for a given intention. I want you all to write down ear prompter. I'm going to send you links. I make no money, and I want to say this one time, hear me clearly. When I send you links, none of them are JV based. I'm not making a penny. If I ever send you a recommendation where I make money, I will send you 2 links. One where I make money, and one where I don't. And both are the same price, and I'll let you make your own assessment. Do you follow me? I'm never going to nickel and dime you. I consider it tacky and unnecessary. If I want your money, I'll ask for it, and I'll create massive value. And I'm good. I'm not after your money here. I'm after your heart here and your connection to your audience. This skill set is enlightening, to say the least. It's called an inner voice prompt, and it delivers the message instantly. This man was attending this event in Los Angeles. He is now a full-time professional speaker. He does keynotes, boot camps. His products sell online. His websites are automated and animated. And he's one of the nicest men I've ever met. All of you would love him.
You can now effortlessly and more importantly, independently find, fix and flip real estate and do it remotely at home while you try to have a good time.
Would you please confirm that you were just fed that information from an earpiece, wired into your ear, and you've never done it before?
Absolutely.
First time out of the gate.
First time of gig.
How difficult is it to hear the words and then repeat them about a quarter beat out?
It's easy. It's really funny, actually. It's kind of it's the easiest thing ever.
And here's what's crazy, and Mike, no offense, because you know I love you, we all do. By show of hands, how many of you think that actually he was a bit smoother than me? Than the man who wrote the script and delivered it a moment ago, because with Mike, it made him a little robotic when he's such a loving and wonderful connector without it. How many of you thought, and how many of you were blown away at how smooth it went? I didn't hear him miss a word. And if you did, he did, but you wouldn't know it because you just skip a few and you pick up on it when you can. He actually did miss a few. How many of you are going to use this in your arsenal as a backup to actually learning it and doing it? I don't want you using this as a substitute. This is for emergencies. Powerful?
Yeah.
Who's sitting there right now, even after lunch, even with your blood sugar beginning to vacillate and take control of your system and shut you down, even though you have a choice to change your physiology? So let me explain something about the room here. We have a lot of days left together, a lot of training. How many of you already sense that this is going to go pretty fast? Even though your ass will hurt on occasion and your back. You now have permission, as long as we're not performing, as long as we're not presenting, as long as we're not videotaping a certain person, where we're all behaving as an audience, because we have to learn how to do that, which is an excellent audience. At all other times, if you're in pain and you feel the need, when I'm teaching, you get yourself up, lean against the wall. You lay down if necessary. You align your back. You do yoga stretching in the back of the room. Please take a look at the back of the room. Why do you think I hired such a big room? I could have spent a lot less money. If I hire only half the room here, the price is half. You follow? I wanted you to have the room to move. I don't need a room this size to run a 50-person event. What's that for? Stretching, functioning. If you need to bring your pillow because you're having a hard time and you have a migraine, lay your ass down. And know that you'll be respected. Are we clear? Survive this event by allowing yourself to do what's necessary to be in here and learn. You may get up at any time that you need to. Just don't interfere with someone else and don't hurt someone else or their ability to learn. It's interesting, but what I just laid in front of you is a tool. It is the single tool by which I can fill 100 seats every single month at any event I want to fill. 100 seats, that's easy. 50 seats is a no-brainer. I can do that in 2 weeks. Only using one tool. You're about to receive all the tools. So inside the wallet, which now I believe 13 of you, well actually the people who lined up earlier, and they said they were serious about the mother load, which is an offer that's not available again. They're not serious. 3 of them didn't even put their names on the forms. That means they're, forget it, unless they take specific action with David Schwab. See, people line up for things, but they really don't want them. They don't follow through. So if you're serious, you have to let us know, because that offer will be taken off the table. Quite frankly, I lose money on that offer, because I have given up not only a seat for my event, my final event, my finale to the last 16 years, but they have no idea that the $52,000 in tools are not things I give. Those are things. Andrea, your seat at just the one component of coaching is $15,000. That's not including an hour of private coaching, correct? That's not including the complete mentorship. It's not including any of that. So understand something here. At the next break, if you are serious, you make sure you visit with David Schwab. Listen carefully. That wallet that those people now own, which will be given to them when they take action at this event, and they'll receive all the files. Well, inside that wallet, or the wallet that you choose, these are carried. That's why I designed it to be extra wide. It is designed for your passport, your plane tickets, and it's designed for you to have something called a Master Pass. Please take a look at the Master Pass. This is a VIP Master Pass. It has a description of me. Hundreds and thousands of people. It has a description that I cannot read myself without the aid of an aide. Thousands of people like you, including Kevin Trudeau and Mark Victor Hansen, have been mentored through Joel Bauer's weekend training, which is a bad word. The next time I print it, the word will be empowered, which empowers virtually anyone, virtually just like potentially. You can't say everyone because it's a lie. So you have to buffer it legalistically right there. Virtually anyone to convert their passion to profit, speaking from their experience, generating potentially massive income doing what they love. You heard of double lock safety for those who want to be legally compliant. How many of you could model what I wrote there quite easily once you make a decision on what it is you want to work on? How many of you could model that paragraph very easily? Turn the card over. On the back of the card, Joel's languaging pattern empowered me to put $920,000 in my bank account. Mind you, Hardy. $1.7 million in sales in less than 2 years using Joel's proven process. Jeannie and Louis Pinto. Joel is masterful at inspiring people to take action, turning their lives around. Bill Clinton. Oh, Tony Robbins, by the way. You can't use a picture of Tony without a legal release. I have a lifetime legal release and a 5-year limited release on his comments concerning my book, which they just renewed. Tony Robbins, like me, is a brand and a trademark. If you use my name and I don't give you permission, I can sue you, but I won't. But I could, because my name is a trademark. Write down, you need to trademark your name, because you are building a brand. Isn't it true, Captain? Technically, although it's not a good idea, but if you pulled me over for a ticket many years ago, or one of your officers pulled me over for a ticket, and they're about to write my name on the ticket, but my name is trademarked, I could actually say to them, you might not want to write down my name yet. Because use of my name, and I hand them a legal document prepared by an attorney, is at a cost of $350,000 because it's a brand, trademark, and a copyright.
Yeah.
And it's either going to get me tasered, pepper sprayed, killed, or potentially excused. But most likely it will antagonize and tick off the officer. So I'm not recommending this kind of behavior. Far better behavior is to take your hands, and when the officer pulls you over at the side of the road, to place them face up on top of the wheel. Better yet, through the wheel and on the dashboard, which immobilizes your arms and lets them know, because officers are frightened when you approach them. When an officer approaches you, you're approaching him. You think he's approaching you? You're approaching him. He doesn't know what you know. He's got a gun, but he doesn't know that you're not a bomb. He doesn't know. Officers are frightened when they approach someone on a level, and I think you would verify that. They don't know.
Very dangerous.
And so when you put yourself, don't ever fly open the side door in your car and jump out. That'll get you killed.
Right.
And you're going to get the ticket 100% of the time when you do that, because you just scared the officer. The one thing they are taught to do is never, ever do they want anyone to do anything other than behave. So behave. Put your hands on and face up, palms open. And if they say, put down your window, show your hand empty, point, and slowly put down the window. Then put your hand back on the dashboard. Your chances of not receiving that ticket are increasing by every second, aren't they? Because you're showing respect. And then the one thing you never want to say to a police officer is, when he says to you, do you have any idea how fast you're going? You don't want to say, I have no idea. That is the single worst thing you can say. You are now unconscious, incompetent, and you have acknowledged to that officer that you are clueless. And now you put them in control. Now this has nothing to do with police officers. This has to do with languaging and behavior. When I meet someone and they ask me what it is I do, I hand them a VIP Master Pass. They say, what do you do? Why do they ask me what I do? Because I'm dressed like this. Open collar, suit, nicely fitted. Are my suits nicely fitted? Yes? No?
Yes.
Is it cut properly?
Yes.
Yeah, I might be a little heavy now, but it's still cut properly for my body. Is it or not?
Yes.
Well, people are going to stop you when your clothing is cut properly, when things wear you well, and you hang and wear them well. Are my shoes shined? Are my nails clean?
Yes.
Are my eyes clear and void of alcohol or the influence of drugs potentially?
Yes.
I may not be arrested here, but do I appear to be energetic and focused?
Yes.
People will ask you what you do when you're put together. Am I wearing French cuff? Is French cuff mandatory? Yes, and you don't have to go out and buy French cuff shirts. Just cut off the button on a male or female shirt and put a buttonhole where the button was, and now you have a French cuff shirt. That's automatic. That's $3. Actually, in Thailand it's 60 cents. In Singapore, $9. In LA, $3. I always find out these silly little things. So, I show them the master pass and I point to the area and they read one paragraph. And then, just like clockwork, they take it from me and they flip it over and they read it. At which point, I hand them my cell phone. That's correct. Because their next question is, really? I haven't talked to them yet. They just said, what do I do? I go, bam, bam. I go, that's yours to keep. And that is a $5,000 master pass. And I don't give these out often. I only give them to friends and family. Are you worthy to be considered my friend or family and to attend a life-changing event that in one weekend does what a lifetime doesn't do in traditional education? And if you only pass what I teach you forward to your children, their lives will never be the same financially or emotionally. It would be my pleasure to gift you a VVIP, very, very important person, seat at my event, where you'll be let in early and treated like royalty, where in many cases you will make the money that royalty and celebrity generates, but without the hard work and without a loss of your privacy. Am I delivering a pitch?
Yes.
I don't deliver that pitch. I hand this, before I say any of that, I turn on my phone. And my phone is what? My phone is set to video. All I care about is video. I am a video guy. And video is a very big deal. I turn it on, and instantly I hand it to them. And it plays. Not only does it play, but it's now locked into what? Anyone know? It's locked into Bluetooth, correct? It is. And you synchronized with my phone without your knowledge. So they're looking at my phone, they're listening to the sound, and because of the size of my phone, it is a theatrical experience. This phone is roughly, what, $400. It's an S2 Samsung. You can buy them cheaper. It depends on which model. This is the new state of the art. I am into big. Is this a different experience? Let me see your phone. You want to fill a room with 2 people? Use this. You want to fill a room with everyone at the airport who happens to be looking over their shoulder? Use this. And this is loud, by the way. The battery lasts 5 days, where your battery lasts, if you're lucky on an iPhone, unless you have the external pack, right? You get through a day? Sometimes. 5 days. 3 to 5 days. Depending on use. Bigger the phone, bigger the battery. Unbelievable. So I'm going to tell you something right now. That's how I fill my seats. That's just one technique. No Facebook. Oh, I know how to do all that stuff. Definitely. Are you kidding? One technique. Who here thinks that if they can put 100 people in a room and they're closing an average of just 20%, 15%, and your package is 30 grand, and you only put 50 people in the room, and let's say you had a bad day, and so once a week, twice a month, you're putting 15 people, 15, 20. Who can live on 40,000 a month here? 40,000 US a month here. 40,000 SGG a month here. Is this doable? You're telling me, Joel, that you use master passes Andrea, did you recently come to one of my weekend events where I did no Facebook advertising? All I did was invite a small list of my students to bring people with them, and the entire room was full of 100 people. I spent 0 on marketing, 0 on the hotel, because I made a deal for the hotel room that they would have the room nights, and without me, I wasn't going to do the event. I spent nothing on my food, nothing on my parking, nothing on my suite. Nothing, 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 and even got a bonus day to present to my students to take care of my graduates who had motivation to not only come to the event but also make money if anyone bought. And some did. And they did. Fantastic. Does everyone understand that I'm going to have every tool and mechanism? You got to be kidding me, Joel. You mean that thing right there is going to take us 5 minutes? Yeah. Once you take your pictures here, and you snap on the template that I give you, it's going to open up. And the whole cards are already laid out for you, plus your banners already laid out for you. How many of you think it's faster to pop your picture in, take a few testimonial photos, double-click on everything that's already laid out, and then print, than you having to figure out how to do this stuff? This would have taken you 2 or 3 days to figure out, and you wouldn't have had it tested. This is tested. The colors, the positioning, the strategy, the languaging, the scripting, the approach, and the multi-dimensional series of moves that are involved in this. Anyone getting the feeling in this room, I got you covered? And we haven't even built your matrix yet. Oh, please, calm down. Day 2. You're already learning closers. You're already getting familiar with languaging. You already know that this stuff works. And I already have all the tools laid out. And what did you hear Andrea and Elizabeth say this morning? And what did you hear Claire say? Relax. Now I got a question for all of you. Did you come to this event just to get a little?
No.
Did you just want an event that gave you some good stuff and you didn't want to be overwhelmed, you just wanted some good stuff and you wanted to take notes? Didn't you want to come to an event where you were overwhelmed by solutions and overwhelmed by options that all achieve the same result? So let's wake yourself up now. Let's go from child to adult. Let's take possession of you at this event. Tell yourself right now on your paper, I am on board, I am safe, I know that everything will be here. Write it down, and if you don't, you should hightail it out of here. If you don't know you're on safe terrain yet with this mentor, and you don't know that I'm just showing you a smidgen of a sliver of the tools that I've already built for you. Tools that are going to save you 20, 30, 50 grand on marketing. Tools that are going to save you 100 grand on advertising campaigns. Tools that will save you from hiring a director and a producer, a videographer and a filmmaker. Tools that will enable you to communicate on any platform, one-on-one, one-on-50, one-on-5,000. So decide that you're in the right place. Don't sit there going, oh, I'm confused. You know what you're confused about? The fact that you've never been anywhere that had even close to the solutions that are in place here. You are confused by the fact that you have options. And that's what scares you. And that is scary, to have options. Not just one way to make a living, but so many ways to redesign and re-engineer, reposition and retool your life. Living in frequency and emotion. Life. Live in frequency. What frequency? Higher energy and an emotional commitment to what you do. And the gift shift is you will have mastery. You will finally decide you're going to get good at something, or you already are. And you're going to decide what it is you represent. And on this planet, and in this lifetime, in a matter of 3 months after this event, you can have everything in order, and you can start working literally the day. Who can apply what they're learning here already? On some level. Who can apply the attitude shift on some level? Who already felt this morning that when you have an opportunity to do an exercise here, you're not frightened of just standing here and just being you, because you saw people standing here just being themselves and it was infinitely interesting. Don't be anything else. Don't be a master modeler. Be a master of who you already are. Why is it people quote other people? Why don't you quote yourself? Why aren't your words worthy? I generally don't quote other people. And by the way, if you see quotes from me online, I didn't put them there. I've got social media people. They're not mine. They put stuff up all. Do you think Penn June is putting up all that stuff? Eli, tell the truth. He's not putting up any of that stuff. The quotes. No, I just talked to him.
Oh, okay.
No, he's delegating all of it now.
Delegate to the team.
Yeah, he'll talk about ideas, he'll tell them where to do the research, he'll put a little spin on it, they do all the work. It's a social media team. I've got a question for you. If you guys are making $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year, are you going to sit around dicking around, or do you know exactly what to do? Wouldn't you put a team in place? Make sure you see it, just get it done. Now you do know that during this event I'm micromanaging every element of this event. Every email, every communication, every misspelling, by design. If you see me make an error, just examine it and go, I wonder what I'm about to buy now. Because the error got your attention. How many of you know that when you put in an email a subject line, sometimes you want to misspell the subject or you have a problem and it goes into a spam filter? There are certain words that we intentionally misspell. Does anyone know that here? There are algorithms. If you don't misspell something, in certain instances, it gets thrown in the spam filter. Like the word money, like the word guaranteed. How many of you know this? Some of you know this. So I have you covered. Oh yeah. Pretty hot in here. You don't think so?
Very cold.
Someday, very soon, you'll be standing in my shoes. And you'll realize that it looks like I'm not doing anything, but this is actually a workout.
Yep.
It's actually a workout, isn't it? Speakers in the room. It doesn't look like I'm moving very much. But man, at the end of the day, I drop on that bed. Oh my God, it's a workout. It is, and it's different than the gym. The gym energizes me. This is denervating on some level, but inspiring, and the inspiration transcends any compromise. Let me tell you all a big secret. There is no place I'd rather be than with you. Period. Right now. 100% can grow. There is no one I'd rather be with than you. And there is nothing I'd rather be doing than transferring my skills to you. And if you don't feel that way, then you perhaps should leave right now. Because if you don't want to feel that way, I'm talking about there's nothing on the planet I would rather do than be with you now. I'm not with my wife now, I'm not with my kids now, I'm not at Christmas Day, I'm in the moment. How many of you can just say in the moment? I want you to write it down, I want you to circle it, I want you to put a slip of paper at the top. This is going to help you big time. You put it above you, right on the table here, in the moment. And when you begin to drift, and you're psychoanalyzing something we're learning here, and you're going, in the moment. Am I learning something valuable? Yes, I think I am. Am I learning something proven? Yes, I think I can. And do I need to change my attitude? Yes, I will. Is he going to connect the dots? Yes, he will. You've got to shift your attitude to one of positive expectation, which we talked about yesterday, but not in detail. So please watch carefully. It is time for you to make a commitment, not like what you did yesterday. Because what you did yesterday was not a commitment. It was something that you thought you might want to do, but something you weren't real sure of. So right now, I want you to flesh out on your sheet of paper 3 things. Do, love, and want. Because we are building a pitch. Flesh it out. You've had practice now. You're supposed to fill out. Who's been filling out the pages? Who's been filling out the pages? And who's been filling out what they do? And each time you do it, do you get a little better at it? Do you get a little more defined? Do you change your wording a bit? Write it down. On your paper there. What you do, what you love, what you want. And I'll be dropping off a set of new cards. These cards are the ones you're going to make a commitment on. You see, up till now you've been presenting, but I've evolved this and made it more advanced. I want to make sure you're working on something here that you're somewhat congruent on. You're about to make a commitment on what you're going to work on here. And you're capable of changing it if it doesn't feel right later, but you're going to work on that thing. And that's going to provide something that some of you aren't familiar with. That's a congruency model. You have to make a commitment. Not making a commitment is a choice. And that invites you to the nation of procrastinate. Procrastination is not empowering. Procrastination is suicidal. It's time for you to make a decision. Write it down on the paper. Write it down on the paper, and I'll speak with you, sir, in just a moment. Write it down. What it is you do. What it is you love. Remember, what it is you do could be what it is you plan on doing. But you write it in the here and now, as if you're doing it in the here and now. There's a big difference in going to a weekend event where I have to be superficial and I just have to try and help everyone in a general way. Here we can get a lot more exacting. And I must tell you something. If you think that being with me alone and doing these processes is more valuable than what we're doing now, wrong. There are things we're doing in this room that work better with a group and a group dynamic than one-on-one. There are things that work better one-on-one, but in this room I can give you equal to personal consoling. This is very effective. Pass those out. Yes, sir.
Can I choose to do and to love?
No. You may not choose to. Come over here. Follow me. Great question. Can you choose to? Not if you want to be functional. You've got to chunk it down. So, what are your two options? Tell us your two do's.
The first do is about nutrition R&D, so which is my profession.
And what's your second do?
And the second do is my training in terms of nutrition and the physical exercise.
You don't understand how that's the same thing.
For health. And that is specifically, one is, they are connected because it's nutrition.
That's correct. They're connected. So why don't you present it as one element? Listen to me carefully. Close your eyes. Can you imagine? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You're safe. I'm not going to harm you. I want every one of you to have three things in this room. I want you to have EMT. I want you to be able to eat, move, and think differently. By eating differently, moving, and thinking differently, I will make sure, potentially, that an EMT, an emergency medical technician, is never scraping your dead ass off the ground prematurely and unnecessarily because you didn't have proper nutrition. And that your body didn't atrophy so that you fell unnecessarily before your time. I want you alive for your children. I want you not just alive, but to thrive with your children. I want you to extend your life 5 to 10 years, 15 years, realistically, by reversing life-threatening diseases, because we're going to reverse the aging process, virtually reverse it in the here and now. Who here would like to be on the planet another 10 or 15 years? Raise your hand. Who here would like to live with energy, charisma, and vitality by eating, moving, and thinking differently? And who would like to have a system I spent $250,000 to learn for virtually free? Raise your hand if you'd like to have that. Because quite frankly, all the money you're making is irrelevant if you die unnecessarily and prematurely due to lack of education and no action. There's your pitch. Does that sound like it fits? Perfect. Imagine that all the slides appeared on the screen for exactly what I just said. I had no idea you were going to raise your hand, and I don't generally take questions. He's the only person that raised his hand, and normally I don't embrace that. Because if we start answering questions for how many of you agree, that could be a digression, and it could cause us to leave course, and we end up. But his question was pertinent, and I sensed it, and he had a question about, can I have 222? 22. Relevate. 22. Eat, move, think differently. I wonder what that would look like. I wonder what an entire pitch would look like. like that. And I wonder how much money you could make per year training people to eat, move, think differently. And I wonder if you could have your own boot camp where people would embrace your online membership, your community, and you would train them twice a year. And they would bring friends and expand it. And you would have a membership program with awards and certification and even joint venture income sharing for the products and processes. And part of your Eat, Move, and Think Properly, you might embrace the program that this woman is a part of, Andrea. And you might have the essential oils, and you might find 4 or 5 solutions in the room that perfectly coalesce in manifesting greater health and cellular absorption, which we're not getting from the food we eat because they don't have the nutrients. There is almost nothing I'm serving you that has any nutritional foundation in this hotel. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just, how many of you know this? You're eating something, you're metabolizing something, well, your body's trying to metabolize something. Did I say something that fits exactly your concern? Eat, move, think differently. Does that embrace it all? It does, and it needs to be that simple. And you need to have testimonials. For those of you that leave the room right now, the question for all of you, are we at that juncture where you require a break? Who needs to pee badly? This is so important right now. You're going to take a 15-minute break, and you're going to come back to me, and I'm going to show you magic. By the way, question for you. Is there a general, do you feel the lull after lunch? Do you feel the lull? Do you feel the difference in temperature in the room? See, many of you think it feels better, but it's hotter, and as a result, it's shutting you down. You may not think so. I see it. And I don't miss much. Too hot, isn't it? You're damn right it is. It's too hot. How many of you think it's perfect right now? Who thinks it's too cold? Okay. Who thinks it's too hot? The larger quotient in the room. And I told you, bring a blanket, bring a sweater, but if I allow for heat to take this event over, it's going to cost you money. A lot of money. It's going to cost you a percentage of your life. Return here in exactly 15 minutes, but for the next 15 minutes, I want you to craft on your piece of paper, do want love, do not write it on the index card yet. Are we clear?
Already wrote it.
It's okay. It's okay. You can always redo it. We'll see you in a minute. And I will take care of you big time. Big time. 15 minutes.
In a precise manner,
I'm going to keep the music quiet.
yes,
I was looking for you, but you decided.
no,我跟 Elizabeth, I was interviewing me.
I need to leave. It's all right, no, it's
Questions? Pretty, funny thing to say. David, can I talk to you for a while? New York.
你的那个是什么来着？是精油吗？
是精油哦，是精油。你有用过吗？
在国内我也喜欢用精油，经常有买。
你用哪一种精油？
就是我通常都在商场买的。
你喜欢的是哪一种？薰衣草
我很喜欢薰衣草的玫瑰。
玫瑰是特别贵的，如果你真的买纯的。
是啊，